the world. It offers a platform for latest agri innovations. First issue of the magazine was launched on September 5, 2020, and a number of issues of our magazine are already being published. On the other hand, the Agro-Environmental Education and Farmers Welfare Society aims at enhancing the livelihood opportunities for more than 1 million farm households in the country. So these both are amongst the largest networks of agriculture and allied sector professionals in the country right now. Now coming to the session, I would like to thank our chief guests of the session, organizing course director of this training program, Dr. DPS Badwal sir, course convener, Dr. Shandeep J. Shinde from VNM KV Prabhani, course director of the training program, Dr. Mohit Bharadwaj, members of the organizing committee, course coordinators, Just Agriculture Education Group, and most importantly, the attendees of the session. So now, without delaying the session, I warmly welcome our chief guest of the first session, Dr. Khizr Samad Beg. Dr. K.S. Beg, presently working as a cotton specialist and head cotton research station, Nanded, also holding charge of associate director seeds since last 4 years, completed PhD in genetics and plant breeding from MAU Prabhani during 2000. Sir is having a 25 years of experience of research, extension, and teaching. And Sir has already developed 5 varieties of soya bean. Sir has developed and released 8 varieties of Desi cotton, 2 intra hirsutum hybrids of American cotton 1, and also other varieties. Sir has published more than 55 research papers, 110 popular articles, and 3 books, 3 books, sorry. Sir is a recipient of Shantilal Malhotra Award, Vasantrao Nayak Best Scientist Award, Government of Maharashtra Best Scientist Awards. So, sir, it's a matter of great privilege for us to have you here. I would like to welcome you and invite you to the podium to address us. So please come to the podium and inspire our participants with your talk. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Now my screen is visible?
Much visible, sir.
Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. Today I am going to deliver one lecture on one of the most important crop of our country, that is cotton. As you know that cotton is occupied more than 1 crore and 20 lakh hectares area. That is the most important crop of the country. And side to side, soybean is also cultivated on more than 1 crore and 10 to 15 lakh hectares area. So these 2 crops occupied more than 70% area in the country. So today I am going to, I think most of the participants belongs to the cotton cultivated tracts of the country. So as you know that there are 4 cultivated species, and amongst that, Gossypium arboreum and Gossypium herbaceum, these are the 2 diploid species. Whereas Gossypium hirsutum and Gossypium barbadans are 2 Egyptian species. So there are total 50 species are available in the cotton in the or around the world. Out of that, 46 are wild species and only 4 species are cultivated. And just for your information, that India is the only country which is growing all the 4 cultivated species. In rest of the world, only Egyptian cotton or American cotton is cultivated, whereas in India, still now we are having cultivating for, though the area under this diploid cotton is reduced, but we are going cultivating all the 4 species and having unique distinction in all over the world. Apart from that, I just also want to share that India is the only country in the world where we are cultivating hybrid cotton. In rest of the world, we are generally cultivating these state varieties, but India is the only country which is growing hybrid cotton, and that to the extent of 98 to 99%. So as I already told that at the time of independence, you just see the scenario of how this cotton scenario has been changed over 100 years in the country. At the time of independence, these Deshi cottons, they are grown to the extent of 97%. That is Gossypium arboreum and Gossypium herbaceum. And hirsutum cotton at that time are grown only to the extent of 2 to 3%. And rest of the all in over the India, only Deshi cotton was grown. But from the middle of the 19th century, these tetraploid species of cotton, that is Gossypium hirsutum and Gossypium barbodens, were introduced in the country. Why? With an object to increase the productivity as well as the production of superior fiber quality to fulfill the needs of the modern textile industries. Whatever the textile industries were set up by the Britishers, they want to introduce these long staple cottons, because our Deshi cottons, they are short staple and very low fiber strength. So they introduced this American cotton in the country with an object to produce long staple cottons, so as to fulfill the needs of the textile industries. But at that time, one of the renowned scientists, Hutchinson, 1947, warned that in future, introduction of these American species may imbalance the cotton species scenario of the country. However, he advised that if the fiber qualities of Deshi cotton has been improved to the level of American cotton, we can fulfill the need of the textile industries. But in India, we can witness the major change in every 2 to 3 decades in the cotton cultivation scenario. The major change is that shift in the species. As I have told earlier, we have shifted our cultivation from diploid to tetraploid. Diploid means these two Desi species, Arboreum and Herbaceum, having chromosome number 2n is equal to 26, whereas these two tetraploid species, they are having belongs to Gossypium hirsutum and Gossypium barbodens, having chromosome number 2n is equal to 52. That's why they are called as Deshi cotton has been called as diploid species, whereas this American cotton has been called as tetraploid species. Later on, this American cotton, after introduction into the country, they have dominated over the Deshi cotton. Later on, the introduction of hybrid technology by Dr. C.T. Patel during 97 further collapsed the varietal scenario of both Deshi and American cotton varieties. Some area has been remain under these Deshi cotton varieties and hirsutum state varieties, but after introduction of this hybrid cotton, these hybrids were dominated over American cotton varieties as well as these Deshi cotton varieties. And during 1980s to 1990s, this interspecific means Gossypium hirsutum into Gossypium hirsutum and Gossypium hirsutum into Gossypium barbodens. That is called as interspecific. And some of the popular hybrids at that time, that is H4, that is hybrid cotton 4, NHH44. This NHH44 has been released from Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapit Parbhani and from Nanded research station from where I am working presently. And this NHH44 hybrid was dominated entire country of cotton cultivated tracts of the country, and 60% area of the country has been occupied by single hybrid at that time. This is the DCH32 is the interspecific hybrid, that is Dharwad cotton hybrid. Again H6. These are the some of the hybrids. They dominated entire cotton cultivation of the scenario of the country for almost 2 decades. Thousands of laborers were engaged in the production of hybrid seed in each and every state of the country. Most of the private seed companies were established and get flourished with the production and marketing of these public sector cotton hybrids across the country. 90% staff of government seed certification agency, particularly in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat, was involved in the certified hybrid seed production of the cotton only. Now at present, this has reduced up to only 1 or 2%, and rest of the all hybrid seed production areas has been taken over by private seed companies in some in Rajasthan and Gujarat and Telangana and parts of Andhra Pradesh. Just I want to mention here 2 important projects which was launched by our government of India during 2000. One is NATP RCPS 7. That is National Agriculture Technology Project. This was led by Dr. L.A. Deshpande, one of the renowned scientists from cotton scientists from the country. And another project was RCPS 8. It was led by Dr. B.M. Khadi from Dharwad. Area under Deshi cotton was started is to here main object of this project, launching of this project is to increase the area under Deshi cotton. And with the efforts taken by under these projects, this Deshi cotton area was started to spread slowly due to exhaustive conduct of on-farm trials and extension activities under these projects by these most renowned and dedicated cotton breeders of the country. Here the first NATP RCPS 7 is the title of the project was Promotion of Productive High Quality Gossypium Arboreum Cotton to meet the needs of marginal cultivators of rainfed ecosystem vis-a-vis textile industry. Here the main object is the development of arboreum genotypes which are having long staple, which will be suited for the modern textile industries. This project was implemented in Central and South India, and the performance of Deshi cotton varieties was evaluated extensively on the farmers' field for yield and fiber quality in comparison to the popular hirsutum varieties and hybrids. At that time, the Beti cotton was not launched in the country, and only this non-Beti cotton, American cotton varieties and hybrids were cultivated, and competition of Desi cotton was with the American cotton state varieties and hybrids. These improved arboreums developed in the project showed on very excellent quality parameters with which will match the hirsutum varieties and hybrids, particularly fiber length, fiber strength, and macroneer. In case of cotton, apart from yield, the fiber properties are one of the most important criteria where the farmers get or fetch good price. And the fiber are mainly three parameters generally required for any cotton hybrid or variety. That is fiber length, length of the fiber, strength of the fiber, and macroneer. That macroneer means fineness. If the more the fine, more we'll get the smooth clothing. If the macroneer is high, we'll get the very rough type of clothing from that fiber. So the requirement is very high fiber length, fiber strength, and macroneer. So these arboreum cotton which are developed under this project are having or fulfilling all these criteria. Higher monetary benefit and ecological advantage of low pesticide, because these arboreum cottons, they are one of the advantage of arboreum cottons is that they are having tolerance for sucking pest. They are 100% tolerance for sucking pest, whereas this American cotton or tetraploid cotton, they are 100% susceptible for sucking pest. This is one of the main difference. Though this bollworm infestation is observed in both of the species, but these main advantages of arboreum cotton or Deshi cotton is that they are having sucking pest tolerance. Here we can see these are the 4 quality arboreums: PA255, PA402, MDL2463, and DLSA70. These PA varieties, they are developed from Parmani Center, MDL2463 from Mudhol of Telangana district of Telangana state, and DLSA17 from Dharwad. So if I can see the performance of these 4 varieties, they are this PA255, it gives 22.9% higher seed cotton yield or local hirsutum checks, 37% more yield than local hirsutum hybrid checks, and 10% over hirsutum popular intra-hirsutum hybrid at that time, that is Bunny, that is 10.2%. So we can see these popular arboreums, they are competing well with the hirsutum varieties as well as hybrids. Another character is that this project is that characterization and identification of productive and high quality cotton species or genotypes, including Gossypium herbaceum. In the previous project, more emphasis has been given on arboreum cotton, whereas in NATP RCPS 8, they have mainly tested herbaceum species. That is the another diploid species belongs to Deshi cotton. So Dr. B.M. Khadi was the principal investigator for that project. And this project was involved the 6 institutes, and this mainly implemented at Dharwad, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and this Andhra Pradesh. See, in the six states, this project was implemented for 4 years. And the leading varieties from arboreum, herbaceum, hirsutum, and hybrids were evaluated under 6 environments. Here you can see that the study was already conducted. Nowadays, we are proposing that we have to test these species under different environments, but this type of study was already done 20 years back. So whatever they have selected some of the good varieties from arboreum, few varieties from herbaceum, and some intra-hirsutum hybrids and intraspecific hybrids. And they were evaluated under 6 different environments. That is deep soil plus high rainfall, deep soil plus low rainfall, medium soil plus high rainfall, medium soil plus low rainfall, shallow soil plus high rainfall, and shallow soil plus low rainfall. Here the object is to identify which species is suitable for soil type as well as pattern of rainfall. Here it is the main object is to identify the species, not the varieties, so that in the future they can promote these species on large scale cultivation. Based on the yield data and farmer preference, a distinct shift was noted towards arboreums. Many farmers in the target districts took up seed production of their own. Here, some of the looking to the performance of this Deshi cotton, many farmers in the project area, they started the seed production of Deshi cotton. The on-farm trials also convinced farmers with relatively lower cost of cultivation, they can get the same returns with the quality arboreums. One of the major output emerged from the project is the listing of recommended species for different agroecological zones as against the species and varieties currently used. Here in this table, we can clearly see that under different, these are the 6 different situations, and the varieties Sahana and DCH32 from Dharwad. One BT variety recently launched at that time, that is 184, Mahiko 184, AK 8401, and GCOT hybrid 8. And some of the varieties from private seed company. They were evaluated under these different kind of situations, and on the based on the 3 years pool data, these arboreum genotypes, they were adopted very well and give good results in case of shallow soil and low rainfall, whereas these American varieties and hybrids, they have performed and give good results in heavy soil and high rainfall. And suddenly again there was a very this drastic shift was witnessed in case of cotton cultivation scenario, that is introduction of BT cotton during 2002-2003. Here up till now this Deshi cotton was struggling for retention of their area and competing with hirsutum varieties and hybrids. But now this suddenly introduction of BT cotton in the country, again major this is one of the reason due to which this area under Deshi cotton was drastically reduced. The cotton cultivators adopted GM technology like a wildfire, leaving behind cultivation of non-BT state cotton varieties, non-BT hybrid cotton and varieties of Deshi cotton. With the launching of BT cotton, the area under non-BT state varieties of American cotton, non-BT hybrids of American cotton and Deshi cotton varieties were completely stopped. As a result of this, the Deshi cotton area has been restricted up to only 5% during the year 2010-11 from 27% during 2000-2001. As I told earlier that during 1947, the area under this Deshi cotton was 97%. Now it was reduced up to only 5% during 2010-11. And at present, if you see the current situation, more than 97 to 98% area under cotton is dominated by single species, that is Gossypium hirsutum, cotton hybrids with Bolgar 2 gene. On the other side, the cotton crop of the country also witnessed outbreak of the pest, that is sucking pest in northern India and pink bollworm across the country and diseases. At present, thousands of hybrid cotton varieties were flooded in the market by hundreds of private seed companies since 2002. But actually only few cotton hybrids were performing well in each and every state for production of higher seed cotton yield, coupled with resistance to pests and diseases. At present, none of the hybrid in the country is showing resistance against pink bollworm. If you can see the states, the major cotton growing states are Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Gujarat, and North India. Here in hundreds or thousands of cotton hybrids are available in the market, but all these hybrids are now become susceptible for pink bollworm. However, due to the strategy suggested by our universities and CIC and Nagpur, we are able to restrict the infestation of pink bollworm in the country, but by management practices only. But genetically, all these hybrids were found susceptible. As we know, at the time of introduction of BT1 during 2002 or Bolgar 1, these private seed companies claim that these hybrids were having a resistance for 3 bollworms. That is American bollworm, spotted bollworm, and pink bollworm. And during 2007-8, they introduced Bolgar 2 technology, claiming that it is also having resistance against Spodoptera. So at present, the whatever this BG2 hybrids available in the country, they have to show resistance against full type of bollworms. But unfortunately, the hybrid they are now become susceptible for pink bollworm, and only at present they are showing resistance for only 3 types of bollworms, that is American bollworm, spotted bollworm, and this Spodoptera. Anyhow, the strenuous efforts taken by Central Institute of Cotton Research, Nagpur, and SAUs who had given package or model for control of pink bollworm. Otherwise, the situation of BT cotton may be similar to non-BT cotton era before 2001 or 2002. But now also we have to undertake 2 to 3 spray for control of pink bollworm, because it was started the infestation from at the time of flowering only. From 40 to 45 days, the pink bollworm infestation was started in the country in one or the other parts. So we have to undertake 2 to 3 minimum 2 to 3 sprays, chemical insecticidal sprays for control of these bollworms. So in the present investigation, efforts have been made to identify the most suitable species of cotton for seed cotton yield and related parameters, and we have collected data of 31 years data of the trials conducted at Nanded and Parpani location, and we have collected the data from these 4 data of 4 species, that is Gossypium arboreum varieties, Gossypium hirsutum varieties, the Gossypium hirsutum and hirsutum, that is intra-hirsutum hybrids, and BT cotton hybrids for 2 decades. For each year, this is the methodology. For each year, grand mean value of seed cotton yield and related parameters were undertaken from each trial for calculating average of mean of 31 years. For BT cotton, that is BG1 and BG2, mean data of seed cotton yield was undertaken for 17 years of 2 decades from SAU or ICR BT cotton trials conducted at Nanded location. For each category, data has been further partitioned into 5-year phase for computing seed cotton yield, lint yield in comparison with the checks for each year. Mean of all the entries in 31 trials has been taken to represent a species along with the then existing check varieties of each trial. Likewise, mean data of lint yield, whole weight, ginning outturn, and staple length is also calculated. Here you can see the performance of arboreum cotton varieties for seed cotton yield and lint yield for 3 decades. Here during 1990 to 1994, the seed cotton yield of arboreum varieties were 1160 kg per hectare and lint yield was 442 kg per hectare. There was a severe breakdown in case of yield, and this lint yield was observed during 2000 to 2004, and yield was reduced up to 945 kg per hectare, whereas lint yield was reduced up to 351 kg per hectare. However, during 2015 to 2021, the average seed cotton yield of these Gossypium arboreum varieties was 1265 kg per hectare, whereas lint yield was 463 kg per hectare. Similarly, this is the data of ginning outturn. Here we can see the slight reduction in the ginning outturn. During 1994, the arboreum varieties, they are having very good ginners, that is 38.13% ginning outturn, which was slightly reduced to 36.68%. This is mainly happens because we are given more emphasis in high yielding varieties. Pressure is employed mainly on selection of varieties having high seed cotton yield and good fiber properties. If you improve the fiber properties, this ginning outturn there is negative correlation with ginning outturn and fiber properties. So here we can see the fiber properties has been improved from 26.17 to 28.68. This way, as we increase the fiber properties, the ginning outturn has been decreased. So there is the negative correlation between these fiber properties and ginning outturn. This is due to which over the period of 30 years, the ginning outturn of these Deshi cotton varieties has been reduced for 2%, that is 38 to 36%, whereas we can increase the fiber properties, which is more required by the textile industries, modern textile industries, and we can increase the fiber properties from 26 mm to 28.6, 27 mm. This is the performance of arboreum cotton varieties for boll weight for 3 decades. Here we can see we can also apply selection pressure for development of varieties having good boll weight. So during 90 to 1994, initially the boll weight was 2.1, which was increased up to 2.78. That is, we have presently released the varieties having arboreal cotton varieties having excellent fiber properties with coupled with good boll weight, that is 2.8 gram. This is the second species, that is hirsutum cotton varieties. First, we have seen what is the improvement in arboreum. Now here we can see there is the performance of American cotton state varieties, non-BT state varieties. During 90 to 94, the yield level was 1448 kg per hectare seed cotton yield. Lint yield was also good at that time, that is 575, and that was a drop in this seed cotton yield and also lint yield for 2 decades. That is mainly because here the BT cotton varieties were introduced in the countries, and the infestation of bollworms was very high, and with a very high pressure was observed during these 2 decades. So these yield levels of hirsutum varieties has been drastically reduced, whereas it was improved slightly during 2005 to 2009, that is 3075, and now in the last 5 years, these yield levels are 1171 kg per hectare of seed cotton yield and 428 kg of lint yield. However, these yield level are low, but the area is also very low. As I told, that 97 to 98% area under only BT cotton hybrids is available in the country, and area under these non-BT state cotton varieties is very low. That is less than 2%. That is only because the farmers are cultivating or growing organic cotton. They are preferring this non-BT cotton because for organic cotton, this BT cotton is not permitted. So whomsoever some of the farming groups, they are cultivating these American cotton varieties, but the area is very, very meager. So at present, the yield levels are only 1171 kg per hectare, and lint yield is 428 kg per hectare. Here the performance of American cotton varieties for fiber properties. The fiber properties for the 30 years is almost stable. Initially it was 25.9, and now also it was around 25 to 26 mm. But the ginning outturn has been reduced here also. As we witnessed in this arboreum cotton, here also the initially the ginning outturn was around 40% in case of American varieties, but now it was reduced up to 36% only. Here in case of hirsutum cotton varieties, the boll size is drastically reduced. Then the varieties cultivated during 90 to 94, the boll weight was around 4 gram, which was reduced up to only 3 gram, because in most of the cotton is growing under this rain-fed condition. In Maharashtra, it is grown under more than 90% area is grown under rain-fed condition, and in rain-fed situation, the cotton varieties or hybrids having medium boll size, they are giving good yield. Though the boll size is reduced, but the number of bolls are increased. And if we increase the boll size, the number of bolls will be less, and that too give good results in the case of irrigated tracts. So for in general, in rain-fed tracts of the country, we can go for this hirsutum varieties or hybrids having medium boll size. If we increase the boll size, it will need the frequent irrigation and high irrigated tracts, or wherever irrigation facilities are available, we can go for big boll size entries. Otherwise, for rain-fed, the small boll size entries were giving good seed cotton yield. This is the performance of intra-hirsutum cotton hybrids. Here also the area is more than this is less than 1%. Non-BT intra-hirsutum cotton hybrids area is very, very low, and only some of this organic cotton cultivators, they are cultivating these intra-hirsutum cotton hybrids without BT. So here also we can see initially the area, this seed cotton yield was 12 quintals per hectare, and lint yield was 440 kg per hectare, and which was at present there is not so much difference in case of seed cotton yield. That is 1134 kg per hectare, and this lint yield is 409 kg per hectare, but area is very, very low in the country. Similarly, the ginning cotton of this intra-hirsutum cotton hybrid is the same. That is 36 to over the 3 decades. It was remain the same, plus or minus 1%. And fiber properties is also slightly reduced as compared to the 1994. That is, fiber length was 27, which was reduced to 25.8 mm. Here, the bole weight of this American cotton hybrids is slightly improved as compared to varieties. Initially, it was 3.56, and now it is also around 3.5. And these are the non-BT cotton hybrids. These are the data of bean seed cotton yield of BT cotton hybrids. That is BG1 and BG2. And it will this after 17 to 18 years. It was introduced during 2000 to 2004. Actually, it was introduced during 2002. Initial seed cotton yield was 626, which was suddenly increased up to 1447 kg per hectare. And again, there was a cessation was observed for in case of seed cotton yield increase, and it was 1106 during 2010 to 14, and at present it was 1589 kg per hectare. And this is the situation since last 10 years. The seed cotton yield is remained same or stable for last 10 years in the country. Here we can see the comparative performance of 31 years. This Arborean varieties had given the seed cotton yield of 1326 kg per hectare, which was almost at par with the BT cotton hybrids, that is 1374. However, the performance of hirsutum cotton varieties, non-BT cotton varieties, and intra-hirsutum hybrids were very poor as compared to Arborean varieties and BT cotton hybrids on an average of 31 years of trials conducted in Marathwada or Maharashtra. Similarly, the situation for lint yield, Arborean varieties recorded highest lint yield, that is 493 kg per hectare, followed by intra-hirsutum hybrids 379 and hirsutum varieties 408 kg per hectare. Ginning cotton of Arborean varieties is around 37.2, hirsutum varieties is 37.9, and intra-hirsutum hybrid is 36.7. The stem fiber properties of Arborean varieties are almost similar to the hirsutum varieties and intra-hirsutum hybrids. As I told earlier that mainly this American cotton varieties and hybrids were introduced in the country for improvement of fiber properties. As these at that time the cultivated varieties of Arborean cotton, they are having very inferior fiber properties. But due to the research work carried out at our Parbhani University, Dharwad University, and in Gujarat, they are able to develop the varieties of Arborean, these varieties of this Deshi cotton having very good fiber properties. So at present, we are having the varieties which are having a staple length of more than 32 mm. That is PA 182 varieties released from our university. This Deshi cotton varieties is having longest staple in the country or in the world. Nowhere in the world we are found the varieties giving this staple length of 32 mm. Similarly, fiber strength is 30 G per text, and macronear value is also around 4.2 to 4.5. So this type of work, classical work of the improvement of genetic improvement of Deshi cotton has been done at our university, and by adopting conventional breeding methods, not any molecular methods we have adopted, only by adopting these conventional practices. Only we have done this introgression breeding method. We have adopted by transferring the genes from American cotton into Deshi cotton by giving the colchicine treatment to this Deshi cotton varieties. So that technology we have transferred the favorable traits of fiber properties from American cotton into Deshi cotton. So this is the result of that. We can see this Deshi cotton varieties having fiber properties at par or even superior than the hirsutum varieties and hybrids. Here, this is a comparative performance of seed cotton yield, lint yield, ginning cotton, bole weight, and staple length of these 4 species. Here we can see that the Arborean varieties, they are given higher seed cotton yield than varieties of hirsutum cotton. Similarly, for they are given more than 8.25% over hirsutum varieties, 1.7% over hirsutum hybrids, and 18% higher seed cotton yield over BT cotton hybrids. This is based on the data of 17 years of trials we have conducted at Marathwada region. Similarly, for ginning cotton is also at par of arboreum varieties with hirsutum varieties and intra-hirsutum hybrids. As I told that bole weight has been slightly increased, that is 2.93% over this cultivated existing varieties, 2.8% over hirsutum varieties and 7.9% over hirsutum hybrids. Here, this is another interesting data. We can compare this performance of these arboreum varieties, hirsutum varieties, hirsutum hybrids and BT cotton hybrids in the rainfall. We have under under normal rainfall condition, above normal condition, and below normal condition. So interestingly, we can see that arboreum these varieties, they have given very good yield in below normal rainfall. So we can say that wherever the rainfall is very low or under this rainfed situation, these Deshi cotton varieties, they are giving very good yield as compared to American cotton varieties and hybrids. So under below normal, arboreum varieties given highest yield, whereas hirsutum varieties, they have given good yield in above normal rainfall area. In case of hirsutum hybrids, they have given good yields in normal rainfall area, whereas BT cotton hybrids, they have performed very well when the rainfall is above normal than the average. Here, this is the comparison we have clearly seen. Under below normal area, out of the 4 species, out of these 4 different type of groups, Gossypium arboreum, they have given highest yield in below normal, followed by Gossypium hirsutum state varieties, that is American cotton state varieties, followed by BT cotton hybrids, and lowest yield has been given by Gossypium hirsutum hybrids. So whenever the average rainfalls are below normal in the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, or Andhra Pradesh, we can recommend arboreum cotton state varieties. So because they are performing very well under below normal areas, wherever when the rainfall is normal, we can suggest or recommend this BT cotton hybrids. Under normal situation, they are giving highest seed cotton yield, followed by Gossypium hirsutum hybrids, whereas the performance of arboreum varieties and hirsutum varieties was similar in normal rainfall area. And whenever the rainfall is above normal, we can go for hirsutum cotton hybrids, followed by hirsutum varieties, then Deshi cotton varieties and hirsutum cotton hybrids. The performance of hirsutum hybrid is lowest, and arboreum is on 3rd position. So whenever the rainfall is under this changing climatic conditions in the cotton cultivating states, whenever the rainfall is above normal, you can recommend the cultivation of BT cotton hybrids. And wherever the rainfall is below normal, we can go for arboreum cotton, cultivation of arboreum cotton varieties. So this is the cotton cultivation policy for the next 2 decades. The area under Deshi cotton state varieties should be increased up to 30% in the next 20 years and may be promoted in low rainfall areas with medium type of soils. As I told that the area under only one species is occupied by more than 98 to 98%. And for maintaining proper species balance, as we know that out of 4 cultivated species, the only single species occupied 98% area. So we should increase the area under Deshi cotton or this arboreum cotton to the extent of 30% in coming 2 decades or 20 years. So I have to maintain proper species balance and also to conserve this Deshi cotton species. Similarly, state varieties of American cotton may be transferred in BG1 or BG2 background and promoted under high density planting system mainly on medium type of soils to the extent of 30% under rainfed condition. Whereas intra-hirsutum cotton hybrid with BG1 and BG2 background should be promoted under irrigated condition on medium to heavy soil and in assured rainfall zone on heavy soils under rainfed condition to the extent of 40% in coming 2 decades. Here, as we know, at present, the area under this BG2 hybrid is more than 98%. So we have to reduce up to 40%. And this remaining 40%, we have to promote American cotton state varieties with BG2 gene and mainly promoted under high density planting system, followed by 20% area or 30% area under Deshi cotton. Research work on development of certain varieties, state varieties, non-BT may be restricted to research station only for identification of best hybrid combinations for further conversion in BG1 and BG2 version. Overall, there is need to formulate breeding strategies to increase gening outturn in Deshi or American species to the extent of 40%. At present, whatever the hybrids are cultivated in the market or cultivated in entire country, they are having gening outturn of 35 to 36. So we have to increase the gening outturn of all these cotton hybrids to the extent of 40% so that more lint can be obtained from the seed cotton yield. Gening outturn is nothing but the total lint yield we have obtained from this total seed cotton yield. So this increasing gening outturn is one of the important challenges before us. Still no categorization or none is available for this state in the country. We have to categorize medium gening outturn, poor gening outturn, and good gening outturn genotypes. That is still lacking. Everybody is telling that our hybrid is very good, having for 38% gening outturn. Wherever those having 36, they are also telling that our gening outturn is very good, and we are having 36. Those companies which are selling this American cotton hybrids having 34, they are also claiming that gening cotton is very good. So there is need to categorize for this trait in the country. Similarly, there is also need to pay premium price for high gening cotton varieties and hybrids by the government. Development of strains of American cotton with BG1 or BG2 background showing tolerance to sucking pest with big ball size around 4 to 5% suitable for rainfed condition. These are some of the photographs. Honorable ex-Director General of ICR, Dr. Mahapatra Saab, visited our trials at Parbhani Center. These are some of the BT cotton hybrids which we have converted into BG2 background, and next year we are going to launch this. This year we have already launched NHS 715, and next year we are going to launch NHS 250 and BG2 background. This is the plot of NHS 44 BG2. This is the state varieties NH615 non-BT variety developed by our research station. This is the another variety NH635 having recommended for high density planting system. We have converted both these species into BG1 background. Similarly, as I told that these are the Deshi cotton varieties. P812 having staple length of 31, macroneurial value is also very fine 4.4, and fiber strength is 30.2. So it will take around 100 years for development of this variety. One of our research station of Deshi cotton is located at Parbhani, which was established during 1918. Now it had completed more than 103 years, and it will take more than 100 years to increase the staple length from 20 to 30. So for 1 mm increasing 1 mm, it will require 10 years for increasing fiber length to 1 mm. So after 100 years, we can increase the fiber length from 20 to 30. This is the most type of classical research work carried out in our country by conventional breeding method. And at present, as I told earlier, that in entire world, no such varieties of Deshi cotton are having fiber length of 31 mm and good fiber strength of 30.2 and with acceptable macroneura of 4.4. These all varieties has been released for central or south zone of the country. This is the recently released our another variety PA785. This is the cotton research station Mahbubabad farm where we have completed celebration for we have done make one program for celebration for completing 100 years at Parbhani, that is cotton research station Mahbubabad farm. So thank you, friends. You are welcome for any questions on the basis of my presentation. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation and elaborating on us on the such an important crop that is cotton. So now it's my request to all the participants, if they have any question to ask, they can put in the chat box. It has been enabled for you. Also, if you want to directly hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah. If there are no questions, I request all the participants, they can ask me the questions on my this mobile phone also. My number, please note down my number in case of any query regarding this cotton cultivation or this development of cotton in the country. Please note down my number 730-412-7810. Sir, and right now, if you didn't have any queries, you can ask me later on anytime. You are most welcome.
So we will wait if anybody is having any question.
Yes.
Chat box is also enabled for them if anybody wants to ask something.
One of the two queries. Any cotton variety released to control of black palm of cotton caused by Xanthomonas? I think by TNAU they have released one variety of BT cotton resistant for black arm or this black arm disease of cotton. Just inquire in TNAU University for that. And another, I think this is not the platform only for cotton agronomy. I request this organizer to give platform for cotton agronomy also. So just I repeat my phone number 730-412-7810. One question, West Bengal में cotton हो सकता है क्या? Already there is area in this West Bengal, and they are mainly cultivating these non-BT varieties because the government is not allowed for BT cotton in the country in Bhubaneswar and Calcutta. So some of the areas where they are growing the this Deshi cotton species, but the area is very low. In the some of the tracts, we can see only 1,000 or 2,000 acres they are growing this arboreal cotton.
Sir, there is a question from my side.
Okay, welcome.
Sir, there is a big problem in cotton, which is cotton is very susceptible to waterlogging condition, as I feel, sir. So any variety recommended for this particular thing, like above normal rainfall condition, you already told variety. So what's your view on that particular portion, sir? Like cotton is very susceptible to waterlogging condition.
Actually, in water logging condition, we didn't recommend cultivation of cotton. We have to suggest drain out of water immediately after receipt of rains. Anyhow, some of the hybrids released by private companies, they are giving good response under water logging condition. That too for 1 or 2 days only, 2 to 3 days. After that, wilting is started. Wilting will be started. Meanwhile, you can to drain out this stagnated water from the field.
There is a question from team Antenna Private Limited. Sir, any biological solution to deal with pink bollworm?
Biological solution, we are having recommending metarhizium and other this control method. And also this trichocards, we are suggesting trichocards for this control of pink bollworm. And also Nemark, this spray of Nemark plus trichocard plus metarhizium. These 2 to 3 practices due to which we can control this pink bollworm easily. However, we can avoiding this pink bollworm infestation is very important. Whatever this we have given the guidelines for control, that is post pre cultivation practices, burning the devils, burning this cotton, whatever the cotton remaining in the fields, and this completing the life cycle up to 150 to 160 days. After that, we have to finish the life cycle of this cotton, and whatever this cotton, this bolls or this varieties available in the field, we can burn out that. That is some of the practices we have to follow. So field practices plus biological controls plus chemical control, or should be integratedly apply for control of pink bollworm, that we have presently adopted in the country.
Thank you so much for answering, sir. Sir, there is a question from Ajay Singh about fusarium wilt in cotton, sir. Is there any solution to that?
Yes, drenching of this bivestin and carbendazim, we can suggest fusarium for fusarium wilt. But nowadays, what happened? After long dry spell, if we get the sudden rains, large rains, similarly, this parawilt like situation has been observed in the cotton fields. And this always there will be some this they are thinking that that is due to fusarium wilt, but 2 to 3 factors are acting in that. One is parawilt. Maybe that is due to nematode population is also in the soils. That is also one of the reason for causing wilting. So whenever this fusarium wilt is that, drenching of soil with this fungicide is one of the recommended practices.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there is a question in the chat box, sir. Like there is a depth about there is a doubt about BT cotton, sir. BT cotton is always in in our discussion. So, sir, because of BT cotton, there are two things. One is like sir, the seeds of the BT cotton are very high priced, and also says there is a risk of BT to the other life forms. So it is considered that there is a risk of BT to the other forms of life. So have you any take on this particular thing, sir, like on the BT especially?
For BT, BG1, that is BG1 and BG2 biosafety trials has been conducted. And this government of India and other, we have received the data that it is no harmful for humans or any these animals. However, at present, we are having area under BG3, that is herbicide tolerant, that is illegal cotton, in which these private companies, they are selling the seed of Bolgard 3, which is having additional gene for resistance against this glyphosate. So biosafety trials of these BG3s is still pending, as government of India is not permitted for conduct of a trial or given permission to the universities for testing. So there might be some ill effects of BG3, but that needs to be first conduct of trial is needed. And after that, we can say that whether it is favorable or unfavorable. But right now, this BG2 technology is safe for humans as well as animals, and also for environment.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Any other question from the participants? If they have, please ask. Sir, I think there are no more questions in the chat box. So thank you so much for sparing your valuable time with us and putting such an highlight to such an important topic in crop like cotton. So we are very thankful on the behalf of Team Just Agriculture and all our participants. I thank you once again, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, we will keep patience for some time. Our next guest for the session will be joining very soon. So, dear participants, our next speaker has already joined. Sir, are you there? Am I audible?
Yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, for the next, moving towards our next session of the day, we have with us today Devendra Kumar, sir, who is a Chief Operating Officer in FMCG. Sir, he's a alumni of IIM Ahmedabad. Sir, he's having a 25 years of work experience in FMCG and retail industries in India, Middle East and Africa. Sir has worked in Indian and multinational companies like HUL, Parle Foods, Heritage, Walmart, and Spar International. So we are more than happy to have you here, sir. So please unmute yourself and I welcome you to the podium. Please address us and inspire us with your talk. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. Can you listen to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah, sorry, there is some small issue. I'm out of the time zone. I'm in Dubai today. So there was some issues in connecting. So sorry
that's
for the delay.
fine.
Yeah, I will share my presentation. So
yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, sir. It's started. It has been started sharing. So yeah, it's visible now.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for the introduction. So I've spent 6 years like FMCG and retail. So across FMCG, I've done Hindustan Unilever, Parle, and then Walmart and Spar. So now I'm again into a bigger role, managing one company called Captain Fresh for entire GCC countries and Africa. So that's why I'm based out of Dubai today, and then working around for this region. So my knowledge basically is into FMCG and retail. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to share my learning and see that your knowledge gets enhanced in these industries. So I'll talk about retail. What is retail? What is retailing opportunities? What needs to be done to get there, and what are the various functions? What are the opportunities required? What are the skills required? All of that we will talk today. And at the end of a session, you can ask hundreds and loads of questions. I'm ready to answer. Okay, can I proceed?
Sir.
And can you quickly brief me about the participants who are all there?
So there are, agriculture and allied sector professionals are there, researchers are there, students are there, PG and PhD students are there. Okay. Then faculty sometimes faculty members are also there. So
right.
Yes.
Okay, great, excellent. So I'm talking to very, very highly educated, knowledgeable people. So sorry if there is some knowledge gaps, but I'll try to gap it up. So if you understand a distribution channel for any typical thing, so I've put for an FMCG, even for agriculture. So agri goods are produced in a farm, and from there it goes to a warehouse. Warehouse could be your mandis or warehouse channels, and then the mandis or collection centers. Those are called in agriculture. And from there, the people who buys could be a distributor or a retailer, and then finally it ends up with the customer. So channels of distribution is a chain of a business or intermediaries through which a goods or service passes until it reaches the end consumer. So this is the complete channel, right from production to the end consumer. That's why it's called channels of distribution. It could include factory, wholesalers, retailers, distributors, and even in the internet now. So what is retailing? Why I've chosen retailing is finally, even for the agri goods or for the FMCG goods or for the apparels, customer and the retailing is the final point where the interaction happens between customer and the intermediary or the channel partner. So that's where entire learning is, and that's where you can also now retailing in India and across the world. World is already grown, but retailing in India is really picking up a fast pace, both offline and online. So I thought it would add a lot of value to your knowledge. So retailing is a distribution process which all activities involved in selling the merchandise directly to the final consumer. This is the one single point of difference. In other somebody's. Am I audible? Is it going on? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think there was some disturbance, sir. I muted them, sir.
Okay, right. Still, it is
Yes.
continuing.
I'll just see, sir.
Can I?
Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Yeah. So in all other intermediary channels, like for example, factory or warehouse or distributor, here it is not a direct customer who's there as a final panel. But in retailing, it is about dealing with the selling or buying the goods to the direct final consumer is what retailing is about. So it involves sales of goods from a single point directly to the consumer in small quantities for his end use. So that is also a difference. It is selling to the customer in the small quantities, and is also some people also call this as breaking the bulk into single units. So there are various types of retail, or I would say broadly two types of retail: modern retailing and traditional retailing. Modern retailing is now also called as organized retailers. So modern formats such as now you have discount stores like D-Mart in India, then hypermarkets, that is Reliance hypermarket, then more hypermarket, and so then supermarkets, department stores, special. These are all comes under modern retailing, where it is more of organized and modern, and then corporate run companies are all called modern retailers. Traditional retailers is your street corner and mom and pop stores, which are refers to thousands of small, most family owned retail businesses, which are also called as unorganized retailers. So this is how broadly there is a split. And then what are the types of retail outlets? Here I'll spend few minutes and then we'll understand the retail function. So supermarkets, where which is a small format, around 2,500 to 3,000 square feet, where you will sell mostly house and home and kitchen related items like food, like fruits and vegetables, grocery, then bakery, fish, then FMCG goods, the daily usage goods, all comes under supermarkets. It's around 2,500, a small segment, and number of products there could be around 4,000 to 6,000. We call SKUs, stock keeping units. In hypermarkets, it is larger. If it is 3,400 is supermarket, 4,000 square feet is supermarket. Hypermarket could be anything between 30,000 square foot to 1 lakh square foot. It is an extension of supermarket, but there are other categories like electronics, apparels, home related, like general merchandise, like kitchen related items. All of that gets added here, and bigger assortment is presented here. The number of products could be more than 40,000 to 50,000 in terms of SKUs. Departmental store is also a larger format of stores, and this is more related to fashion, lifestyle, and apparels, all of that. For example, for supermarket, anybody can tell example of supermarket in India? It could be more, it could be Reliance Fresh. So these are all called supermarkets. Hypermarkets, as I told you, Reliance Hyper, then you have more Hyper, then you have multiple, and then you have Spar in India. All of these are all called hypermarket. Departmental stores could be Shoppers Stop, Lifestyle. These are all stores which are more towards lifestyle, luxury, and apparels, that kind of stores. You also understand apparel stores. That means clothing stores. It could be branded clothing stores. It could be Van Heusen, all of those big branded stores could be under apparel stores. Discount stores, basically large stores, but focus is more on discount. That could be DMart is one of the discount store which is doing well in India, which is doing really, really well. And there are wholesale clubs. Metro Cash and Carry is a wholesale club where here the target is not customer, target is business. So all others are B2B, B2C. This is more of B2C. And specialty stores and e-retailers. E-tailers means it is about Amazon, Flipkart, all of those are called e-tailers where e-commerce is taken care. A small scenario of India. India is in terms of GDP, now India ranks 4th in terms of size and accounts for 10% of overall GDP, that is retail industry I'm talking about. Indian 2020, it is about 65.5 lakh crores is its market size, and it is about to reach 96 that is around 96 lakh crores in 2024. So retail industry is estimated to grow by 10%. And still, as I told you, unorganized and organized, still 88% is in unorganized sector, and 9% and 3% is in organized, which is e-commerce and organized retail. So why this number is critical is there is so much more opportunity for an organized retail, both in food, agri, and other formats of food is available. So people are only 9% employed in retail sector, but there is a huge scope as this organized retail share goes up in the market. So this is the growth which is planned. Global perspective, it is big and it grows, but it is quite opposite there. Organized retail is around 70% and unorganized retail is around 30%. And Middle East, the where I am now, it's around 40%. In Africa, it could be around 10%. So these are the top retailers, global retailers across the world: Walmart, Costco, Kroger, Amazon, Lidl. Lidl is a discount chain, and Walmart is a hypermarket and large format stores. Amazon is a e-retailer, online retailer, and Walgreens is a pharmaceutical, and Aldi is again a discount chain. Tesco is there in India. Tata and Tesco has formed a joint venture, and it is called Star Bazaar in India. They are also present in hypermarket format and small format. And Carrefour is a French retailer is a French company, is also present in large format stores. In India, Reliance Retail, multi-concepts, they are present in multiple formats like in food, supermarkets, hypermarkets, large format, electronics, apparels, all of that. And approximate turnover to all our surprise is already 2 lakh crore plus. And DMart, as I told you, discount hypermarket, Aditya Birla Retail, fashion retail, Shoppers Stop, Trent, V-Mart, all of this. Plus, you have in food, more supermarket has predominantly more of fruits and vegetables. Like that, if you go to every city, there are multiple supermarket chains which are doing well. Then e-commerce retailers, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket. Big Basket predominantly started with fruits and vegetables. Now they have increased the range. So it's more towards food. And Snapdeal and Myntra, it's more of fashion. So now you understood overall industry, market, what is retail, what are various forms of retail. Now, what I'll take you through a typical retail company. How does it work? What are the various functions? How organization chart of a retail company looks like? So, if you take it's a representative picture. It's not a right one. Some companies may have difference, but this is how all the companies operate. So there is a board which is on the top, board of directors, and normally a CEO is at a helm of affairs, and under him there are heads of functions. What are the functions we'll have? So buying and merchandising. So this is a function where the team buying for the supermarkets. They do the buying, and merchandising means they display. how to display, how to put the products in display. These are all comes under buying and merchandising. And you also understand supply chain, where once the buying is done, it is goods is received by this team and it is warehoused, stocked in a warehouse and distributed to the stores. This is about supply chain. Then store operations, where it is typically who operates the stores. For example, More or whatever, Spar or whatever store it is, you will have a store manager, and you have every 10 to 12 stores, you will have regional managers or a zonal managers, and then head of operations. Then you understand marketing, finance, HR, and IT. Typically, these are the functions normally are there, and then they all report into the group CEO. So as I told you, these are the functions. So because you're all from the agri industry, and I want to tell you what are the distribution of all the categories in India. Food and grocery contributes 65%. Major chunk of the business in India is food and grocery, 65%. Others comes later, footwear, apparel, consumer durables, jewelry, furniture, all of that. But predominantly food is the major retail contributor. So if, for example, you want to pursue a career in retail, these are the options in opportunities which any retail company will have. So buying, store operations, quality control, marketing, store merchandise, e-commerce and procurement, and MIS analysts, all of that. So what are the knowledge and skills required for each function and how we can map into this? I will stop here. If anybody has questions, we'll take a small break and then we'll continue again. Yes. Team, this is a lot of information. I want you to do it slowly. You can ask questions now. Hello. Hello. Okay.
Hello? Yes, sir, you are audible.
Can I continue? Any questions here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll continue. Somebody asked me questions. So, criteria to buy merchandise of a company. Very good question. I will explain that now. So I will explain each function now, how each function works. So these are the overall skill sets required to work in retail, and I will now map it to each function. So I'm mapping the skills and function here, buying function and e-commerce procurement. I'll explain what is buying function. So for example, we are let us take your industry example. So it's a supermarket which is more of focused on fresh produce. Fresh produce per se, it is fruits and vegetables, grocery, then fish, then butchery, then you have bakery. All of this fresh food items are there. So, and then grocery items are there, FMCG items are there. As a buyer, as a buying function person, a buyer should know first is what to buy. How will you define what to buy? The definition of what to buy is depending on the customer profile around this store. We need to understand before even starting buying, we need to understand what is the customer profile around you. What is the socio-economic classification? Whether we are a high-end customer, low-end customer, you are a medium customer, and then customer is well-read, and what kind of culture they follow, what is the kind of language they follow, what are their food habits. If you can understand this into minutest of detail, then you can buy your goods accordingly. First step is that. Then you talk to FMCG companies, and then you will have how much to buy. As first we decided what to buy by understanding customer. how much to buy, how to display them, where to keep what. All of this is part of the merchandising function. So buying and merchandising functions, these are the skills required. So understanding, if you're an MBA or a student from a management graduation, so understanding business management fundamentals, the one which I told you. Understanding of product, so that is very critical. So what product, who buys, what is the quality, what is the specification, specs, all of that. You also need to be computer literate. Also have to have some understanding of commercial knowledge, which is percentages, margins, losses. So basic commercial and analytical skills. And you should be a very good negotiator, because you will be negotiating, you'll be buying with FMCG companies like Hindustan Lever, Parle, Procter & Gamble, Colgate. All of these people, you will be negotiating for the price, for the promotions, all of that. You should be a good communicator. So these are the skills required if you want to work in buying function or e-commerce procurement function. Then store operations. Store operations means in a typical store, you will have a store manager, cashier, store associate, and you will also have people who takes care of cleaning and all of that. So store operations needs, that means, so goods come from the warehouse. These goods are displayed in the store, and they put some clean, store is clean, displayed, and put the price stalkers and receive the customers. And when the customer comes, you will receive the customer, explain about your products. Sometimes in a supermarket, explanation is less, but you will direct them, help them, and tell them about promotions, all of that. And then finally it is built, and then it will go. So the store operations is the customer facing function, which is directly like a front end face of the customer, of the company. So what are the skills required here? You have to be very good communicator. So we need to understand, listen to customer problems, or listen to customer needs and give solutions. And you also need to know business management function fundamentals. Then because you are selling product, you should have product knowledge. You should be computer literate to do operating in terms of billing, in terms of managing the indenting, all of that you need to know. Now everything is about computer and analysis, and then digital applications, all of that. And you should be good at customer service. As a store manager or a supervisor, you should be able to manage that store. Some large stores will have 200 plus people. Small stores will have around 20-25 plus people. So you should be having good supervisory skills to manage team, to understand team, to motivate team. And also, because it's a physical job, you need to have a physical stamp. So these are the broadly two top functions, which is of always full demand. And being from the industry or from the agri or a background industry, you understand quality control. This is also one important function. So you should understand quality, hygiene and safety knowledge. And for this function, basically it is about clearing the specifications, store hygiene, store safety, all of that will be followed in the quality control function. Then you have marketing. So marketing is about telling the customers what you have, what are your specialties, why should they buy, why should they come to store. So a marketing person who's there in your marketing department or in marketing function has to understand definitely business management fundamentals and marketing subject knowledge. So how to tell a story, how to tell your own USP, unique selling proposition, your company values. And if you understand what is that your company's USP and communicating them in a proper manner is about marketing, and ensuring that this story is told to customers and the customers believes in you, whatever communication you do, and customer comes and shops with you. So marketing is about all of these skills. So there is one more function which is really building up now. There are analysts and MIS, management information system executives. these people give lot of data for the senior functionals or senior heads of functions to understand the details of the business and be able to take decisions. For example, sales data, which store is doing good, which store is not doing good, what is the sales, what is the bills, what is the number of bill value, what is the average bill value. All of this, there is so much of data and knowledge which can be done from the data. So from the data, they will create a tabular format, visual format, and do an analysis and give and help the people to take right decisions in terms of buying, operations, finance, everything comes around this. So I'm done. If anybody wants to ask questions, I'm there.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation, sir. I am very glad that our participants must have enjoyed your session and inspired from your session also. So it is my humble request to all the participants, if they have any question, they can put in the chat box or they can directly ask to sir. So sir,
Thank
chat
you,
box
Sai.
is been...
Sai LU. Thank you. If you want more, we can do more sessions and we can plan it. Yeah. Okay. Negotiation skills. It keeps on stressing on your price or something more. Very good. So to dig into detail, this is Sai. To get into detail, Sai, it is not about only price. So, for example, it's a Unilever company. They want to sell their shampoo through your store. So one is, of course, the price to retail is common. For everybody, they will give X percentage, for example, 10% margin to you. But beyond this 10% front margin, they also give a lot of other benefits. Like they also give promotions. They also give some other income, display income. For example, to put their product in the front, we give display income. So there is multiple things, and also for supplying goods, they will give you logistics incentive. So there are multiple incomes which can be negotiated by a buyer to a FMCG company. So it could be supply, it could be display margin, other income, all of that. Let me go to the second question. Hope I've answered. Tamila Rasu, how to maintain company product secret when they own a merchandise like Coke? Okay. So this is a different question altogether, but I will be able to answer. So Coke maintains that formula, and that formula is only known through few of their executives. So that formula doesn't come directly to anybody, and this formula is maintained very secretly by very, very trusted people, and they take all measures that it doesn't get revealed. Which are the companies that agri-business students can go for? Thank you. Very good. This is a good question. So as I told you, all of those in retail, at least, all the agri, that is fruit and vegetable based or fishery based and the butchery based companies, like now More is very aggressive in fruits and vegetables. Then Spencer's is one more big company, part of RPG Group, where they sell fruits and vegetables. There are many companies in South which is fully fruit and based, only fruit and based companies are there. Reliance Fresh is also fruits and vegetable based company. These are all retail people with the fruits and vegetables. It's not about selling also. As I told you, a fruits and vegetables, an agri student can go in terms of procurement, can go in terms of buying, and can go in terms of quality control, can go in terms of displaying, merchandising. All of this can be done in a fruit and vegetable agri students. What quality should be inculcated in an entrepreneur? Fantastic question, Mangala. Okay, Mangala, first entrepreneur entrepreneurs should understand the business first, understand the need of the market. For example, you want to start a supermarket business. For example, you want to start a fruit and vegetable business because you are an agri student. So go and understand the need in the market. Is it which product is in demand, or whether customers need or in which channel you have need. And it need not be only customer, it could be channel. For example, goods are produced in a farm and it is not reaching to the wholesale, or it is not reaching the mandi, or goods are it is coming to mandi but it is not getting properly distributed. So there could be a scope for logistics, there could be scope for warehousing. So first is to understand the need in the market and develop a solution according to it. This is the prima facie entrepreneur's idea. So I identify the size of the market, what is the need of the market, what is the solution you are bringing into the market so that customer or the intermediary will buy. Then you need to be comprehensive in giving an effective solution to the market where you are servicing. It could be customer, direct customer or consumer, or it could be channel, it could be anybody. But you will be able to get the solution and execute the solution through your team. So understanding your team, understanding your technology, all of these are also equally important. Beyond that, very, very important is how to manage your funding and finance. So understanding needs of the market, understanding what is the solution you need to give, what is the size of the market, how to manage your funds, how to manage your people, and how to manage your technology so that your solution is much innovative. Okay, does modern retail harm a traditional retailer or vendor? See, as I told you, modern retail in India entered around 12-13 years back. I was a few entry-level people who worked in modern retail. Still, the share of modern retail is 10% only. Still, the traditional retail, family retail, mom and pop retail is close to 85% plus. So it is everybody now has a space depending upon how better you service. It could be modern retail or traditional retail. Traditional retail is also now upgrading themselves, getting a lot of regional chains are becoming stronger. So it doesn't need to be modern or traditional. It depends upon how do you service your customer. Don't be a procrastinator, dare to risk, accept the failures. These are all qualities of good entrepreneur, or for anybody it is the same thing. Opening own stores like DMart or lease stores like feature retail companies, which is better start. See, DMart has a plan of 90% of DMart stores are owned by company, and all other retailers they open through rentals. Depending upon your capital requirement, capital availability, and depending upon your format. For example, a DMart had a huge capital to start with, and they've acquired places and then started. So the capex, if you have huge funds available, definitely DMart model is good because appreciation of land is also there, plus rentals also are controlled. But if your capex is less and you want to invest more in the instruments and in the equipment, you may have to do it. So there is not one straight answer depending upon the capital available. Any more? Good. I think Preeti, we are done.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. And, I think our participants must have enjoyed and learned from you. So thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much on the behalf of Team Just Agriculture and all our participants. I convey my big thanks to you, sir. So we will be meeting you again in some other program of ours. So meanwhile, sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much on the behalf of all our participants.
Thank you very much. All the best to everybody and keep rocking. And India is growing and the Indian economy is growing. All of you, if you have your will, knowledge, and passion, definitely everybody will succeed. And I hope all of you do well. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, without wasting much of your time, moving towards to the third session of the day, our guest has already joined. So, I would like to introduce you to our guest. Sir, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So moving to the next session, we have with us today Satish Kumar, sir, a visionary entrepreneur and a change maker in the mission to create new media platforms to promote entrepreneurship, rural startups, and agriculture, building communities and shaping ideas to transform environment, politics, leadership, and public views. Sir is an accomplished leader with the experience of over 20 years in the business of media. Sir has worked in different platforms like print, television, digital, and events in the leadership roles to transform and grow businesses. He is also an independent consultant in strategy, sales, marketing, and brands with a special interest in media. Sir has also worked with brands like Indian Express, Tehelka, Think, IDM, and in the leadership roles. Throughout his career, he has taken ownership of the brands and offered high-energy, result-oriented leadership with the entrepreneurship attitude. Sir is the founder, director, and CEO of The Talk, a new media and thought leadership platform. He is also the founder of SEAL, an agri and rural entrepreneurship initiative to promote the well-being of nature, people, and the economy. He is also the director of Jubilant in Tamil Nadu. So your remarkable personality is well reflecting from your achievements, sir. We are eager to listen to you. So it's my humble request you to join us to this podium. So I welcome you, sir, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Utkasha. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Thanks for your introduction about me. I'm here. I'm very happy to be part of this forum. The reason being, the subject is something very close to me because I'm from a background of an agricultural background, and also I closely work with the agricultural community. Though my work profile is something in the media and industry, but I closely work with the agriculture as a domain. So that way, I'm very happy joining with an interesting crowd, and thanks for the opportunity once again. And I want to start with the saying that I'm not going to make any presentation or anything because I want to talk what is there in my heart. So I just want to share my thoughts and whatever that we are trying. We have tried a lot of things in this space, and we have done some remarkable achievements, and we have failed in certain cases. But these are all a great experience, and probably that could really be an insight and a knowledge for people who are hearing here. So the subject, the discussion topic that was chosen is that agripreneurship and agri startups creating job opportunities. So that's the topic. So I just want to start with, I'm across the country. I'm India as a country, I'm telling, and even especially I'm from Tamil Nadu, from a place called Coimbatore. So here people say that as a agriculture is culture. It's not a business. People always are very pride in saying that it's a culture and it's a way of life. So that's what it's all about. Agriculture. So that's how people talk about it, and they take pride in telling that we are not a business. We are a way of life. So this is what generally people talk about it, and even our history, even our lot of books and other journals, writing in pride about agriculture. But when you look at that, the real scenario in the current modern industrialization scenario, agriculture is the least sought business or for anything, for no single students. Like any student or the sons and daughters of farmers are not really willing to do agriculture as a business or agriculture as a practice. The reason being, which is not looks very viable. That's the reason. And the worst part is that agriculture is a pride and it's a culture when it era. But whereas post-industrialization, I think everything has become very to an advanced level, and the technology is playing a very important role. But here in the agriculture, still majority of them, or at least, like more than the 50% of the agricultural community is still using very conventional methods or old methods that they, follow for the agriculture. And for the same reason, they couldn't, the size of the economy is going to be very small. So a small example is that even if they're in a whole village of, say, some 1,000 people village, if they're involving in agriculture as a business or as a practice, if you look at the size of the economy would be much smaller, not even in, maybe not even crores in sometimes. Even, like even the entire village, what they produce and what the kind of the size of the economy, if you look at, it's going to be very small. And for the same reason, the size of the economy is very small. The money involved is very small. They cannot really employ much people. The whatever that employment they provide is that it's going to be a meager. And obviously, people are not interested where they want to move out to the cities for a betterment, for a better life. So this is not happening. So what, so the whole idea is that unless agriculture is seen as a business and an agriculturist becoming an entrepreneur, this is not going to be solved. So that is where like an agripreneur, the term itself is going to play a very important and vital role today, that every single agriculturist becoming an entrepreneur is the only way in providing, either the creating the business for themselves, as well as creating job opportunities for the others. And agriculture as a business is able to sustain only when you are becoming an entrepreneur and treating agriculture as a business. So that's where, I just want to, more than talking more about the theory, I just want to share a couple of examples on this, real-time examples of this. So which people, like any of the participants could really relate it easily. I will tell you the first example. There was a farmer. This is in India. This is in Tamil Nadu, closer to Coimbatore, where this farmer is involved in the farming business for a long time. And then, at some point of time, they are not able to continue with the crops, whatever they are growing it. They are not able to make much profits out of it. And they started slowly, getting into the dairy, which is an ancillary or part of the agricultural business, where, they started doing dairy business with a lot of cows and all that. But then, they are able to increase the number of cows and they are able to increase the production, but, they are not able to make it as a sizable business. And it is becoming too a complication where, the size of the business is growing, but not really the revenue proportionate to that. So somewhere, they are struggling and the farmer is not able to manage it. At that point of time, the son of this farmer got into it. He got into this business and he started slowly looking at that, definitely it is not going to sustainable if the same way it is continue. So then what he thought is that he started doing slightly using his entrepreneurial thoughts. He started doing that, taking the milk from Tamil Nadu to taking it to the next bigger cities like Chennai and Bangalore. So he was trying to take it in a bulk manner so that, he's able to fetch a better rates. Then he did not stop there. What he did is he then started thinking of making the products as a value added one, not as a raw milk, but as some other products. Then he started doing paneer, and then they started doing your other byproducts of milk. So what happened was there was a huge demand, and the story is very interesting. Slowly, see, I'm telling you in few minutes, but this all took a lot of time for them to transform from selling, just taking this raw milk to the nearer bigger cities, to coming up with some new products, value added products, and then creating a demand for that. And then very interestingly, what happened was the market started growing and there was a huge demand, and then slowly became, and now you won't believe it became a 1,500 crore brand now. You won't believe, I'm sure that you would have heard about this brand called Milky Mist, which is known for paneer across the country. Now they have a presence all over the country now. And this is purely an entrepreneur, an agriculturist thinking like an entrepreneur. He added value to it and he created a huge brand which is available all over the country and become a big brand now, and with a valuation of more than 1,500 crores. It's not just that, it's not about just creating value for the family or for the organization, but creating a lot of huge job opportunities from that vicinity. If you look at, it's not just look that vicinity, of course, that's a, they have their factory over there, they have thousands of people working there in that particular place. But if you look at the kind of job opportunities that is created across the country, it is huge. Now, very interestingly, they are going international markets. They're going all the nearby countries, and they are going to make a big impact on it. And so this is a classic example, an agriculturist, a farmer, how he thought about, seen the opportunity, and how he thought like an entrepreneur, and then he created a business for himself and for the community. So that's one example. This is slightly a bigger example that I shared you. The other one is very interesting. This is something very closer to me. In fact, to an extent, I also mentor this entrepreneur. This entrepreneur is from a very poor family, very small land holding, a very small farmer. Her father is I'm talking about a woman entrepreneur, by the way. That too from a rural place. It's not even a city, or even not even a tier 2 town. It is even a village kind of a place. So this girl, when she used to study in the college, she is not able to really take part in many of the classes or some extracurricular activities, only because of her the family background, the poor family background. Her father is not really able to afford to her even studies, so she can't even think about the other things, other luxury. So that is when she was keep on thinking that she want to really make something bigger. But then again, she's from a agricultural family, and she don't have any big mentoring or any support or any guidance on what to do and how to look at, even how, I mean, like you all know that, people know that in cities like Bangalore or Chennai or Delhi or Mumbai, everywhere you have this ecosystem. So now, especially today in this current scenario, you have in the current days, you have a lot of people are available. The startup ecosystem is very strong, where if somebody wants to start, then they will be able to go and access to a lot of events or even guidance, getting mentorship, all that. But in a village, you can't really think of that. So she don't have any idea, but still she have the dream that she want to change the scenario. I mean, she want to transform her family's the financial status, as well as she want to really support the family to take it to the next level. So that is when she was thinking continuously what to do with that. They have a small land holding with some coconut trees, coconut farming. And her father, was trying his best in a traditional way, whatever that he earns from that, supporting the family, all that. Immediately after her college, what this girl did is she started looking at, she wanted to do something different. Then what she did is she started looking at the place where that my native place is Coimbatore, which is known for coconut farming, which is a huge coconut farming our region. So what she did is that she found that using coconut shell, she created some nice products using coconut shell. Of course, coconut shell is used for many other things, like a lot of other stuff. But this girl wanted do something very different. What she did is she started doing it, some ornaments, and then she started doing cups, very beautiful cups, even, some ice cream cups and your all other stuff. I mean, like, it's beautiful. I mean, she made it in a beautiful way. And then what happened, she she tried it even she don't know how to, find the market or how to, go ahead with her business plan or all that. So that is when, she started doing on her own, by the way, because I entered, or I connected to her much later. But, before that, she's able to do on her own. She started getting some kind of an orders from the local markets, local shops, some local hotels, all that. She started getting it. I mean, traveling to the nearest cities, and she started trying to get something. But she's able to make it in a small way. But later on, then, after that, after 1.5 years, 2 years, then, she started getting some inquiries. And that is when she, got connected to some of the people who can really support, including me. Like, I mean, there are people, some other people as well, who were supporting her. So then, a lot of people guided. I mean, I myself at my personal capacity, I supported in some way. So that now, very interesting part is that you won't believe, after 4.5 years now, so she is making a turnover of nearly 1 crore rupees now. She's doing a business turnover of 1 crore rupee now with that, because she got a export order, as well as she's started selling. I mean, started supplying for many of the big the big time buyers, in India, as well as she got some export orders. So these two things made completely her business in a different way. And now she's doing a closer to a turnover. I think she's going to touch 1 crore of turnover now very soon. And she's doing that business, which is even can't imagine for that family. As a father, the girl's father used to practice agriculture for a long time. I mean, we cannot blame him, because whatever that, his tradition, his family background, he was doing the same thing. He did not able to think about anything beyond that. So he was able to do only the same. He was able to do only the same thing. So there was no big change in it. But whereas this girl came and the same form, of course, she outsourced products from the outside also. But what happened is that the transformation is huge. So now became an entrepreneur. The very interesting part is the family, the financial status of the family. And not only that, the important thing is that now she's employing more than about 40-50 people now. Okay, 40-50 people she's employed. And now she's looking at, I'm sure that, in the next 1 year, 2 year, I'm sure she should be, expanding her business, and it is going to be huge. And I'm sure that, she's going to give more job opportunities for people. So these two examples, the reason why I told about these two examples is that how in agriculture, a farmer, I mean, not necessarily that every single agriculturist or a farmer, anybody, I mean, not necessarily from the family background. Even today's, in the modern days, a lot of people who are in the IT, they want to go and try agriculture, and they buy land. Sometimes they go and lease land, and they want to try agriculture. And even sometimes, and many a times, these people also fail and they come back to their job or their other business, original business. The reason being, everybody looks at the production part. So even the so-called machineries, technology, everything is being used primarily for on the production side. People just fail to, understand that there is a big, the other side of the business, which is the market, identifying the right market. That's a very important thing. That is where I think our huge, the agricultural community, as well as even people who are involving or taking up agriculture as a business, they are failing many a times, even after involving machineries and the best of the technologies, all that, because it is primarily used in the production part of the business, whereas they are just missing out on the selling side. That is where, so the reason why I told is that not anybody who is doing agriculture should look at as a business. I mean, they should look at as a business, unless otherwise it is going to be profitable. Definitely no one is going to stick to the business. I mean, for any business is the same thing. So if you look at every other business, when they start, they have a plan. What they do is they look at the profitability, the possibility of the market, the chances, I mean, the size of the market, what is the possibility for selling, and what is the kind of margins that they have, and what is the kind of, if I do a turnover of this, I should get this much. So they have every plan. Even I'm talking about, even if it is a very small outfit, still, they have some plan and they do the business. And of course, sometimes even that fails, but, it's okay. But here, the agriculture is, that's what, what we have learned and what we have seen in the field is that the agriculture is done as a practice, but not involving much of your entrepreneurial mindset. So that is where, I'm telling that thinking like an entrepreneur and treating agriculture as a business is very, very important for its success. And not only that, this our India as a country being a biggest agricultural practicing country, and to manage this, just imagine what happens if all the entire people who are living in rural India thinking of going to the cities. I mean, you cannot even now itself, cities are, it's not manageable. Already it is not manageable. Governments are thinking that, they want to create opportunities. That's where I think all the governments, Union government and the state governments are really working on creating opportunities in the rural area. But opportunities, unless otherwise, the citizens and the people who are in the rural, if they are not understanding the importance of that, it is not going to change in it. So that's where I just want to tell you these two examples, and not necessarily everybody should really grow to that extent. I'm just talking about any agricultural practitioner, any practitioner, whoever it is, whether a small farmer, a big farmer, or anybody, or even sometimes a corporate company. Of course, corporate companies, they will have their own plan. When they involve in agriculture, of course, they have their own plan and they have enough resource and they'll be able to succeed. But whereas I'm talking about the other farmers, unless otherwise it has been, if you're not really expanding your the economy, size of the economy, it is going to be really a challenge. So that is what the very important thing that, anybody should take note of it. That is the first part of it, agripreneurship. So how this is changing, the dynamics, how the dynamics is changing is what that I just shared here. The second part of it, my talk is that I just want to touch upon on the role of the agri startups. So everybody knows about it. Startups are really making inroads in every other domain, in every other business. And it is really creating a lot of convenience to everybody in the society, starting from your cab services to your food delivery to anything, you just name it, your travel, your everything made easy. So it's not just about the convenience, it's also creating a lot of value. It is creating a lot of wealth to to the investors, and it's creating a lot of job opportunities. Just imagine. See, I could just name I don't want to talk about the biggest startups here in the country. I want to name, I'm going to share some very interesting startup which actually made an impact in our own area, which I want to share it. But before that, I just want to name some few of startups which are in the agri space. Like I'm sure, many of the audience would have come across startups like Ninja Cart, Crow Farm, which is in the market linkage area. And you have startups like, Cropin, Kisan Hub, all that in the, digital agriculture. Inputs, access to inputs category, you have AgroStar, Bihart, all that. So there are a lot of startups, such startups are there in the space, which are really doing a fantastic job. And there are some of the insurance startups, there is a lot of awareness of the insurance and everything. So I am going to share something, very closer to me and what, I've come across. So, I also run and head an organization called SAIL. SAIL is a Tamil word meaning action. So that is the meaning of SAIL. And this is a more of an NGO where, it's a not-for-profit organization, which, the idea of this is that I just want to, since, I'm from an agricultural background and from a rural area, I want to use all my media exposure and all my connects, all my network, everything, knowledge, whatever that I have. I just want to bring that and help this ecosystem, or I want to create that ecosystem for the agri community. See, that's the idea. And that's how this SAIL, this action organization being started. The idea of this organization is to help and support and create a lot of agri and rural startups in the rural area. So initially, now we started only in Coimbatore district. We already, started working with about 50 to 60 villages. 50 to 60 villages. Villages are closer to the city, Coimbatore. And what we are trying to do is that we are just giving them, bringing them together, and we are bringing them to discuss and then, come up with some ideas, because we don't want to give ideas from our side, because though, like we have, I run another company called The Talk, which is a media platform, which is across the country that we do a lot of events, we do a lot of expos, all that. So we are connected to a lot of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, speakers, all that. But, we don't really invite them there, because we don't want to really very intentionally, we don't want to invite them. The reason being that we don't want to, ideas come from the other side. We want to generate ideas from within. So that is where, we make these people talk about it and generate ideas. And then we start helping them, how that could be converted into a business. So the whole idea is that how a person somebody from a village, a nearer village in Coimbatore district, if we have an idea to start up, he shouldn't think that if I want to start a startup, I should go to places like Chennai or Bangalore or the bigger cities. Instead, how this startup could be created, built, and service in the local area, and where it can create an impact in the local market. So that's the idea, and that's how we started doing it. It's a very small, because it's not a full time of our team. We are a small team, by the way. I'm heading that, and I have a few other team members who have working with me. But the idea is that, we are not able to spend all our time in it because we have our own the regular business to do. But so we are spending little time on it, and we are working on it. So far, we have created some interesting stuff. Like, I just want to share that, one, you won't believe, very interestingly, it's a very small way, because this is, again, I'm connecting to how this could create jobs, how this could impact lives, how it could impact the income of the agriculturists and farmers. This is what that I'm trying to share here. So one guy, so he basically want to connect the farmers. Nothing, he's not doing anything. This guy is a very young guy. He don't want to do anything much beyond connecting them in a group, and just, he will help like a call center. He want to do it, and he don't have any technology. He don't have anything. He started with just because he came to me, and he just shared this idea, and we also encouraged him to do this because it is going to help a lot the community. So then he started with just a WhatsApp group. It's a WhatsApp group. It's what that he started. And he connected with more than 1,500 farmers in the initial stage. And he started providing more as a call center, like, anything beyond that city, beyond that village, the person, in the vicinity of that villages, if the person needs something, they will call to this person. This guy will help with the information. He won't do anything, but he will just help with the information. So initially he was struggling because he couldn't get all the information by himself. So that is where we also helped him. Like, we help him, like in generating. Now, the interesting part is that, so he's able to employ some 6-7 people now, and he's able to get all this information, the record information, by himself and with his support of his team, and he's able to cater to it. So now, because it is growing on its own, so you won't believe, without even anything, he just started using, which is going to help that community in that vicinity, and he created a business, and it's in a very small way. Now, I won't say that even probably he will be doing some 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs of revenues as of now, because he's charging some subscription fee from the farmers. So that is what the only revenues that he has. So he's doing a very small size of the business, but it is growing now. He's already employed about 6 or 7 people already. So this is a very interesting class. The interesting case. I'm just talking about that kind of a what do you call it? The opportunities available. So it's not necessarily it should have a great technology. Some cutting edge technology should be there to start a startup. Not necessarily. I'm talking about when it comes to agri startups, it could be even not much of technology. It could be some basic technology where technology will be an enabler. But whereas, if you have a great idea, if you're able to support or solve some problem in the local vicinity, still you will be able to create a business. So that's how, it is started. Another interesting thing is that what we are trying as a group, we as an organization, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to create an identity for a particular region. Okay. I'm sure that, a lot of people would have heard about this, that a place called Pollachi. Pollachi is in Coimbatore district, which is known for coconut trees, which is the huge coconut belt, which is a beautiful place also, by the way. So this here, one set of farmers, we are helping these. Very interestingly, please note, the farmers are very rich farmers. I'm talking about these farmers are all, there is a small community that we created. Of course, they themselves, they want to do something together. And that is when, we involved in it and we help them in creating as a group. They're just 25 people. These 25 farmers are all not very small time or ordinary farmers, because they have very reasonable land hold. Not only that, they were all working in abroad in IT and in other different domains. They were all working. They all, earned very decently, and they have enough money also. But they all, want to come back. They all came back and they want to do practice agriculture and in a sustainable way. And also, they also want to make it more profitable way. So that is where they were very particular about. And that is when, we got connected and we are helping them. So they also finding ways to how to make it very profitable, because they know technology, they have the technology, they have money also, and they have experience because they have traveled in a lot of places across the globe. But still, they want to, do something good for the society, as well as they want to make a business for themselves. So that is when we help them to brand that particular, product for using their own regional name. We branding that. And then we created a small outlet in the city that, initially they were selling exclusively, having that their products, which is completely an organic product, but which is highly priced. I mean, with a premium price. And they also started selling the other products. I mean, like they buy products from the other farmers and even some market, and they used to sell it because it can't sustainable only with this farmer's product in the initial stage, because the demand was also very less. In the beginning stage, people were not really supporting. But later on, what happened is that it slowly became an identity that if you go there, you will find that a very quality product, which is premium, but it's quality, and you have a market for that. So now you won't believe it became expanded and they are doing it. And it is a small level. I'm not saying that these are all small initiatives. I'm talking about these are the small initiatives, because not that every startup or every idea could be started in a big way and you could make it bigger in days. It could only happen slowly. And that is what these things, this is all seeds which is sown already now, these kind of startups. So, they are branded in a small way and they are created an outlet for themselves, and it started doing well now. And now they are looking at, how to improve and increase all that. So this is what that, I just thought that, how agriculture, agripreneurs, I mean, entrepreneurs who thinks like an entrepreneur could create a big business for themselves and create a lot of job opportunities across. So this another big problem will be solved because of all the people from rural area coming to the cities. It's becoming a chaos. No, you all know that, everybody knows that how it is becoming a really, the cities are not really livable. I mean, like, the kind of crowd, the kind of traffic, you won't believe cities like Bangalore. If you are really want to travel and reach a place, you should travel well in time, at least 2 hours in advance. So then only you will be able to reach on time. So that is the kind of traffic, all that. So I think these things, creating job opportunities in the rural areas, in the small towns, and especially in the agricultural domain, will create a lot of job opportunities. And not only that, it will be a great creation of wealth for the rural people, rural community. So that's what. So I would say that I mean, like anybody wants to the existing who are practicing farming should look at this as an entrepreneurship, look at as a business, and look at completely in the lens of entrepreneur. And when it comes to startups shouldn't not necessarily that startups should think about a very big, and not necessarily it should think about using some cutting edge technology, but you have hundreds of thoughts. I mean, hundreds of opportunities available, thousands of opportunities available in a small place. So if they identify that, and if they are able to do it, it is going to be a huge opportunity. So this is what the message that I just want to share it to you. In case of any questions, I would like to share it. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for having your valuable time with us. So already one question is there in the chat box, and I request, it's my humble request to all my participants, if they have any questions or queries, they can put in the chat box or can directly connect to you, sir. So I'm enabling the chat box as well as I'm giving the permission to unmute themselves.
Right.
So
Small startup to be viable, how big it has to be small. Okay. So the question is a small startup to be viable, how big it has to be. See, I'm talking about the first question is that I'm talking about the problem is that in the I'm keeping all this in thinking like a village guy. Okay, I'm just not see. I work, by the way, for your information, I work very closely with all the entire startup ecosystem in the country. I mean, like we do events in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, everywhere, and we closely work with the governments. Just like a couple of days back, we worked with Tamil Nadu government for a startup festival involving about some 15,000 startups. Who have, some 15,000 people who have attended that, and more than some 1,500 startups were part of it. So it was all there, and we work closely with government, all that. But here, whatever that I spoke so far is completely in the context of a rural background. Because why I'm saying is that a startup who's sitting in a city and who's working on an agri space will have, definitely they will be able to access to a lot of resources in terms of technology, in terms of ideas, knowledge, in terms of network, everything. It's huge. But whereas you can see that how many startups will come that way. For example, if Chennai, for example, Chennai is a city, how many such startups will come in agricultural space? Maybe 10, 20, 30, that's all. Or maybe 40. These are even now, if you take the agri startups in a city like Chennai and Bangalore, it will be probably some 30, 40, 50. That's all. Okay. But I'm not talking really on that context. I'm talking about startups should look at, in the local areas where it's a huge opportunity. Say, for example, today, for every single service that you want to really start in a city, like a Bangalore, in a city like a Bangalore, if you want to start a service, you have already a player in that area. You have some competition is there already. And beyond that, what is going to be your USP, and you're going to start it. But whereas when it comes to rural, and I'm not even rural, I'm talking about even tier 2 towns. If you look at there are certain spaces completely vacant, completely plain. There is nobody there. Where you can start. Even it cannot be a very big, or even it cannot be with a lot of technology or a lot of people. So you could start in a very small way. It could be very small way. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to startup, kindly don't consider it as a tech startup. Don't consider it as a tech. I'm talking, there are companies, there are people who have started. See, that technology, they use a minimal technology. They use some websites, say they use some WhatsApp kind of a communication tool, all that. That's it. But with that, they are doing a lot of business. Say, for example, now for farming, only this pesticide using, for the pesticides of the crop, and some kind of weeding, all that is being, a guy has aggregated that. All the machine owners he aggregated, and then he has started giving it at a very nominal price, because why I'm telling, there is a huge crowd and demand for that, where there is nobody is doing there. See, there is a huge demand over there, because if you look at a rural area, you have a lot of population of who are involved in that particular agricultural business or agricultural practice or whatever. But there is nobody ready to come and give you service like that. So that is where I'm telling there are huge opportunities. So my answer to this question is that I don't really look at or compare startups which are in the city. I'm talking about, it could be any small area where you have huge opportunities. I'm talking about even if somebody is coming out of a college, and if they are looking at having some business thoughts and ideas, they could really start there, where it will be easy for them to grow their business there. So that's what I want to tell. And coming to the second question where, what support they get as startup from government. See, interestingly, I'll tell you, governments are really supporting to their best. I would say that every other state governments are doing good job. Union government is doing extremely very well. For example, I'm just telling, for example, in my own in the city, Coimbatore, recently people got 10 lakhs grant for very small startups, small ideas. It is all rural. That's what I'm telling, because the reason why I'm telling is that rural and some then they have created some category called women, rural and rural women entrepreneur, something like that. And then, they supported with a grant of 10 lakhs as a capital for them, as a seed money for them. So which is, it's a great, this infusing of this 10 lakhs is going to make a big difference. It's going to change that, life of that person, I mean, that family, and not only that, in that region, because the person is going to create a lot of, job opportunities as well as services to that local community. So that's what I'm saying. So it's really supporting. Only thing is that you have to really go and explore. Please, every state government, for example, there is something called FAME TN, which is for MSMEs. And there is something called Startup TN, which is for startups. So both these organizations have come up with a lot of support system. Only thing is that I just don't want to name it here, in the sense that, you will be able to access to it. You just go and discuss with them. Or even sometimes it's there available in the website. All these government websites, it's available. Please go and see. Definitely they are supporting. Yeah. And I think there is another question. There is what type of support the farmers are seeking. See, I told, for example, if somebody is creating a platform, for example, if you take, say, there is a place called some ABC, a place called ABC, where you have some 50 villages. And if you have primarily 4 crops are there in that particular region. So a person can think about it. I'm talking about in a small scale. This is all, like I can talk about only the small ideas now. These 4 crops, the biggest problem these farmers is that they are focused only on the production. If you look at, all these agriculturists, even the so-called modern agriculturists, I'm talking about modern in the sense they all went to cities. They studied engineering, sometimes MBA, and even sometimes doctorate, all that, come back and do agriculture. What they also do everything only on the production side. They will use even IoT for their, water management, your fertilizer management, all that. That is all, again, it's at the production side, not on the selling side. So that is where the problem. Finally, they look out for the local market, local buyers, and they end up selling at a lower cost where it is not viable at all. So that is what I'm telling. If a person is very smart, if that particular place is growing 4 different crops in that vicinity, there is going to be thousands of farmers in that region who are growing certain 4 crops. If a person who can, identifying these 4 products, 4 crops, and if he is able to aggregate, connect the markets, not just here in the local district, if he's able to connect across the country, if he's able to connect, using technology, he could use whatever, you can have a small team and he could think of connecting the markets. And if he's able to provide information, and if he's able to charge even, per month, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, whatever to these farmers are ready. You won't believe, I just want to tell you something. More than the city people, even the uneducated agriculturist farmers are using the technology in a very, very better way. You won't believe. Only thing is that they may initially find difficulty, but once if they get used to it, they are really using technology. You won't believe. They are the first people to download an app if they find something very relevant. Of course, normally I am between city and village, so I cannot call myself a city person. I cannot call myself as a village person. So I am like a bridge. So, but I'm talking about primarily in the city, a lot of people have hundreds of apps in your, even if you're not using, you would have used only once and still you will have an app with you. But whereas in the farming community, I've seen personally, the people, when they find something very relevant, they download it and they use it. So that is what I'm saying. So it could be this kind of what type of support. I mean, somebody is asking what type of support farmers were seeking. Farmers were seeking support. Primarily, the market is their challenge. Finding the market, finding a better price is the biggest challenge. If somebody is able to address it, if somebody is able to connect it, if somebody is able to enable that, you are having a business opportunity. That's it. Yeah. And like technology transfer. Okay, that's what I'm telling. I'm not really going very deep into the bigger issues on that. I mean, these issues are bigger issues, but if somebody want to start it, why I'm talking about small ideas. My intention is that I'm not really looking at all the city people to come and start the services because definitely they are not going to do it, many of them, because unless otherwise they want to really do some kind of a social activity or anything like that. Because the people who are in the rural background only will be able to do service over here. They can think about it. And definitely that is what it needed. Because in the city, you have plenty of resources and connections and all that. So you have enough other problems to solve it, all that. So here, the market is huge, but there is nobody to serve locally. Okay. Even some of the startups which are addressing the rural problems at a large level, they are doing it. So I'm saying that even the smaller level, if somebody is focusing on smaller issues, you have plenty of opportunities. That's what I just want to tell you. Talk how can help you poor students, those who are not affordable extracurricular activities in student life, sir. But these students are very well in this sector. Affordable extracurricular activities. I've been to, so I don't know what do you mean extracurricular activity, but however, I just want to tell you, I've been to Kerala recently. This is in a Wayanad, a place called Wayanad, you must be knowing. There, a tribal group, very beautiful. I just happened to meet with them. This tribal group, they have a very beautiful music group they have. Okay. And they only perform with their own traditional, their tribal songs and things like that. You won't believe, beautiful. That was extraordinary. Their voice, their music, their, everything is wonderful. What these guys did is, you won't believe now, they are very popular in Kerala. They initially, because I just spent a lot of time with them and I started talking to them, and we are going to have a huge Agri Expo in Coimbatore in 2024, and for which, we want to invite the tribal group there. So this is where, we have decided when we met with them. So, these guys started in a small way. They were, practicing themselves. And what happened is that they started using social media. They are using just the Facebook social media. I can even share something probably to Dr. Utkasha later on. That group started, selling, just using the social media and WhatsApp. They started selling and they started promoting themselves. Now they are most wanted in many of the major events in Kerala. And first time we are going to invite to Tamil Nadu. And so probably, I don't know whether they've been to other places, but we are going to invite them. So I'm saying that it is all, some initiative is required. So we have to start somewhere. That's it. So I'm not very sure about what extracurricular activity that the person has been. But however, I'm just telling that, the initiative is what very important thing is. And agri-tourism could be a good option for the rural farmers. It has very beautiful. Exactly. I really appreciate whoever commented, I think Mangala, agri-tourism. It's a great opportunity. No doubt about it. It's a fantastic opportunity. It could be, that is where, we can talk about the pride of our culture, all that, these pride of culture, all that can be retained, sustained, so that, we can bring people from the other parts of the world, other parts of the country to visit, to come as a tourism, give them that, opportunity to explore that, the beauty of the village and the culture. It's going to be a huge opportunity without any, destroying the identity of the culture or the village or the farming. It shouldn't be, you just cut all the trees and create some big building and making a tourist spot. Nobody's going to come. So what I'm saying is that, yes, definitely it is agri-tourism is a great idea, and good that, somebody pointed out that. I'm very happy for that. And yes, rural youth can supply cut ready to cook vegetables. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It could be smallest and easiest thing. It could be smallest and easiest thing. So that way, I mean, we could create plenty of things, and it's going to change lives. And not only that, people are going to stay back in their respective villages and towns. They're not going to go to cities. People go to cities for their betterment. When it comes to, I mean, like financially, they want to, make themselves better. So that is where, they go. So that is the reason I'm telling that, people should start small and then, they should explore. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Is there anything else? I
So
hope we are done.
participants, if there have any other question, please put. Otherwise, we can conclude the session.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Dr. Utkasha, for the opportunity.
I think, sir, there are no more questions. So
Great.
thank you so much, sir, for joining with us and taking your valuable time with us. It was
Pleasure.
a wonderful session, and we are very happy to be a part of your session, sir.
Pleasure joining you and all the
So,
participants. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. So, dear participants, we will call it a day, and we will meet again tomorrow with the new sessions for tomorrow. So have a nice day. Thank you so much.